Welcome to The Perspectives of the Bible. Today, we extend a heartfelt invitation for you to join us on an enlightening, thorough, and deeply thought-provoking exploration as we journey into a paramount theme echoing significantly throughout the sacred texts, interpreting inheritance, the value of legacy in biblical narratives. As we gear up to embark on this multifaceted discussion, we warmly encourage you to take a brief pause to subscribe to our channel, hit the thumbs up button for this video, and activate the notification bell to stay connected. By engaging in these straightforward yet impactful actions, you will ensure that you remain well-informed and actively involved in our ongoing dialogues that unpack significant themes and concepts emerging from the cherished scriptures. Each time you interact with our content, you empower us to broaden our reach, allowing the profound wisdom nestled within the depths of the Bible to be shared with an even larger audience, a community that craves for insightful understanding and meaningful dialogue. Inheritance transcends the mundane concept of simply transferring physical possessions. It delves into the very heart of our values, deeply held beliefs, and treasured traditions that have withstood the test of time and been lovingly passed down through countless generations of families and their extended communities. As we engage with the rich and layered narratives that define the Bible, we unlock significant insights into how these legacies shape individual identities while collectively influencing the broader human experience. From the divine promises made by God to the patriarch Abraham to the intricate tales surrounding Jacob's 12 sons, the discussion on inheritance emerges as filled with theological depth, spiritual significance, and moral clarity, urging us to delve deeper into questions about our own lives and the legacies we wish to leave behind. The scriptures continually remind us that true legacy is not solely tied to material wealth, but is instead encapsulated in vital moral lessons, enduring traditions of faith, and the divine calling that beckons each of us to fulfill God's grand purposes throughout our lives and their unfolding narratives. For example, contemplating the rich and intricate story of Abraham highlights God's initiation of a powerful and transformative covenant with him in the book of Genesis. In this covenant, God assures Abraham not only of abundant land, but also a lineage destined to bless all nations, a promise that reverberates throughout time. This incredible inheritance of faith lays down the foundational stone for a people and profoundly influences future generations in ways that are hard to fully comprehend. This narrative serves as a poignant reminder that our spiritual inheritances often transcend our immediate relationships, extending into a broader community, thus unfolding God's ongoing redemptive plan for humanity across the ages, resonating through the corridors of history and reminding us of the intricate connections we share across time. Moreover, the contrasting tales of Esau and Jacob provide plentiful material for us to ponder as we explore how individual choices can drastically affect legacies, ultimately shaping the inheritances we leave behind. For instance, consider Esau, a character who nonchalantly traded his birthright for a single, fleeting meal. This critical decision reverberates throughout the long and storied history of Israel, crafting lasting implications that resonate with great significance even today. In stark contrast, we have Jacob, whose clever strategies and unwavering tenacity allowed him to secure blessings that not only shaped his own life, but also directed the paths of his descendants for generations to come. These narratives invite reflection, urging us to pause and consider our own priorities and decisions in this moment of our lives. What truly matters to us in our current existence? What sacrifices are we ready to make as we think deeply about the legacies we wish to nurture and ultimately bequeath to those who follow in our footsteps? As we venture further into the eternal and sacred scriptural texts, we will navigate the multifaceted perceptions of inheritance that are woven through various biblical contexts. Our discussion will delve into how these perspectives enrich our understanding of identity and purpose amid the landscapes of our contemporary lives. Intertwined among these sacred narratives is a powerful and resonant message concerning stewardship, our profound responsibility regarding the legacies that have been entrusted to us, challenging us to prepare meaningful inheritances for the generations that will come after us. So, stay with us as we unpack more about this pivotal and transformative theme. This journey not only enhances our comprehension of Scripture, but also challenges us to engage in introspection regarding our personal legacies and the ways we can positively nurture them. Together, let us dive into the deeper meanings surrounding biblical inheritance and explore how these profound teachings resonate within our lives today, encouraging each of us to take actionable steps toward fulfilling the God-given potential that resides within us, however quietly it may lie. As we meticulously examine the biblical narratives, we find ourselves continuously confronted with central themes of inheritance and legacy that are intricately woven into the promises of God. One particularly significant and instructive example lies in the powerful and transformative story of Abraham, a figure whose life profoundly reflects both individual and collective human experiences in relation to divine promises. In this remarkable journey, we discover that God established a covenant so transformative with Abraham, an agreement that not only promised numerous descendants, but also assured possession of the land of Canaan as a lasting inheritance. This divine promise serves as both a rock-solid foundation upon which the identity of the Israelites would be constructed and a guiding force shaping the trajectory of future generations as they sought to understand their unique relationship with God. Through the steadfast faith consistently exhibited by Abraham, we glean invaluable lessons concerning legacy, acknowledging that our legacies are deeply rooted not merely in wealth or material possessions, but inherently embody spiritual richness, fidelity to moral integrity, and unwavering obedience to God's overarching will for us as human beings. In stark contrast, biblical narratives vividly portray the serious consequences that arise when individuals neglect their inheritance. The poignant story of Esau beautifully exemplifies this lesson. His impulsive choice to trade away his birthright for a mere bowl of stew starkly illustrates the perils of undervaluing one's spiritual and familial heritage. This compelling narrative serves as a striking reminder that the essence of inheritance transcends simple physical possessions, instead being intricately tied to the depth and cultivation of our relationship with God, alongside the enduring faith that can illuminate the paths of countless others across generations. Furthermore, the concept of legacy emerges in rich and varied dimensions throughout the scriptures, encompassing both blessings and the heavy weight of responsibilities that invariably accompany them. For instance, the narrative concerning the Israelites during their time in Egypt reflects a collective inheritance firmly embedded within periods of suffering, yet illuminated by the flickering light of hope that their unwavering faith affords. As they recount the experiences and tales of their forefathers, they cultivate a thriving legacy that fosters resilience and unity amidst adversity. Their eventual liberation from slavery serves as a powerful and defining testament to the enduring nature of heritage and legacy. It rings with a vital and resounding message about maintaining trust in God's promises, irrespective of how bleak or foreboding circumstances may appear at any given moment. As we continue to delve into the nuanced and multifaceted topic of inheritance, it becomes increasingly essential to reflect upon the biblical figures who not only grasped these lessons, but actively understood their deep implications. For instance, Moses emerges as a leader depicted not solely as a guide leading his people out of the physical bondage of Egypt, but also as one steering them toward the promised land, an act serving as a vivid and beautiful symbol of the fulfillment of the covenant God established with Abraham. His leadership and profound commitment to solidifying foundational practices of worship and obedience create a seamless transition from ancestral legacies to an expanded, more profound understanding of community inheritance. Here, we can observe the impactful role that leadership plays in shaping the interpretations of legacies. As Moses faithfully conveyed God's commandments to the people, he cemented spiritual ties that would enhance their collective inheritance and profoundly shape their identities as a people devoted to the service of God. Ultimately, the biblical narratives impart significant lessons that remind us of one vital truth. Every choice we make holds the latent potential to impact a legacy that extends far beyond our own lives. Our triumphs resonate through the ages, while our mistakes can cast lengthy shadows, carrying generational effects that shape the futures of those who follow us with a blend of anxiety and hope. Hence, the stories recorded within the pages of Scripture invite us to thoroughly consider the legacies we are constructing through our daily actions and decisions. Are they reflective of a deep-seated faith and an abiding trust in the promises of God, or do they subtly hint at a narrow, short-sighted approach towards our spiritual inheritance? As we delve deeper into the enriching and multifaceted theme of inheritance, it becomes crucial to explore the powerful teachings embedded within the parables articulated by Jesus. These parables serve as enduring lessons to all who seek understanding of the value tied to legacy and relationship. One particularly illustrative example, the parable of the prodigal son, offers profound and multifaceted insights into the nature of inheritance, redemption, and the transformative power of familial connections that endure amidst adversity and challenge. In this parable, the younger son audaciously and somewhat rashly demands his share of the inheritance ahead of time. This bold act symbolizes a severed bond with his father and the deeply rooted values of family lineage that have shaped their experiences. This audacious maneuver reflects a thirst for autonomy, yet it ultimately signifies a painful severance from legacy, intimacy, and the profound connections cultivated through generations, as the son seeks fulfillment away from the virtues instilled by his family. However, the narrative does not culminate in despair or hopelessness. The son's eventual return reveals the extraordinarily transformative power of grace, alongside the opportunity for renewal and genuine redemption that accompanies it, illustrating effectively how inheritances can be reclaimed. Upon his heartfelt return home, the father eagerly embraces his son and joyfully celebrates this homecoming with open arms, personifying the love and forgiveness that epitomizes a divine legacy. This moment symbolizes not only the restoration of their relationship, but also the profound realization that inheritance extends far beyond mere material possessions or wealth. In this narrative, we profoundly witness that legacy is not solely what one receives through birthright. It dwells significantly in what is nurtured through acts of love, nurturing relationships, and reconciliations enacted over time, forming a moral foundation that can guide future generations through their own journeys. Moreover, this parable embodies essential teachings regarding the generational responsibilities intricately associated with inheritance. The older brother, who dutifully remains with their father, embodies a steadfast adherence to duty while simultaneously illustrating a failure to comprehend the deeply rooted significance of familial love and solidarity among siblings. His bitterness and resentment towards the younger brother's return highlight how individual perspectives on legacy can profoundly shape relationships and interactions within families. It signifies that inheriting good values must concurrently be accompanied by a heartfelt commitment to actively uphold and embody them in our daily lives, not merely paying them lip service, but demonstrating their significance through intentional and actionable efforts. Within our broader exploration of biblical figures, we come across captivating stories of both Jacob and Joseph, which represent another profound dynamic of inheritance and familial legacy. Jacob's arduous journey toward recognizing the immense significance of his lineage, together with his eventual reconciliation with his brother Esau, serves as a pivotal chapter in understanding the intricate complexities surrounding familial legacy and the necessity of forgiveness. Similarly, the narrative regarding Joseph, marked by themes of betrayal, resilience, and eventual reconciliation, reinforces our belief that spiritual inheritance can endure, even amid the personal trials and hardships that may seem insurmountable against the backdrop of time and circumstance. Joseph's incredible rise from the depths of slavery to ultimately become Pharaoh's trusted advisor powerfully illustrates how spiritual legacies can emerge as sources of strength, purpose, and resilience, even amidst deep adversity. Just as Joseph eventually reconciled with the brothers who wronged him, this narrative vividly illustrates that even the most damaged relationships retain the potential for restoration and healing. These stories underscore that our legacies are intricately woven with themes of grace, forgiveness, and the ongoing possibilities for renewal that stem from a deep and abiding connection with God. In summary, through the narratives of significant parables and key biblical figures, the scriptures weave a rich tapestry that portrays the complex realities surrounding inheritance and legacy in our lives today. We learn that our legacies are constructed not merely upon the material assets we may wish to pass down, but, more importantly, upon the wealth of the relationships we nurture, the values we embody, and the profound love we extend to others, both in our families and the wider community. Our conscious commitment to honor these legacies shapes not only our present lives, but also provides illuminating guidance for the paths of future generations, grounding them in the eternal truths of faith that have been cherished and passed down through time, echoing through the ages in ways that uplift and inspire countless hearts. As we pause to reflect on the importance and significant implications of inheritance explored through the biblical narratives, we also confront a sobering truth. Not all legacies are inherently positive or deeply beneficial across the span of generations. The contrasting stories of King David and King Solomon provide vivid insights into both the triumphs and failures directly linked to inheritance, leadership, and the intricate complexities that arise within familial relationships. Although King David is famously described as a man after God's own heart, he faced monumental challenges dwelling within the dynamics of his family that ultimately led to conflict, division, and consequences echoing throughout generations following his reign and eventual death. His successor, King Solomon, inherited not only vast wealth and a united kingdom, but also retained the complex familial issues left unresolved by his father, issues that ultimately impacted his reign and the very nation he governed, inviting deep questions concerning the true nature of inherited blessings and weighty responsibilities. These poignant examples stand as cautionary tales illustrating how personal flaws and shortcomings can generate ripples that extend through the lives of future generations, perpetuating cycles that may prove arduous to break. Solomon's initial pursuit of wisdom began with extraordinary promise, yet it became increasingly tainted by the increasing influences stemming from idolatry, moral compromise, and alliances forged with foreign nations, revealing that spiritual inheritance demands a profound sense of responsibility and discernment. In essence, legacy is not a static possession to be handed down. It requires continuous nurturing, diligent effort, and thoughtful introspection to shield its core values from potential distractions and moral decline that inevitably arise over time. Even the consequences of King Saul's disobedient reign and decisions become evident and resonate within the narratives of both David and Solomon, showcasing the undeniable reality that prior leadership decisions lay a foundational groundwork for the inheritances others must navigate in their journeys following them. Saul's envy and disobedience cast a long and oppressive shadow over what could have developed into a more fruitful and prosperous legacy for the people of Israel, reminding us that political and spiritual inheritances we possess often carry lasting implications for those who come after us, profoundly shaping their faith perspectives and moral foundations. When interpreting biblical teachings concerning the concept of inheritance, it is vitally important to consider both the benefits we may gain and the burdens that legacies can often entail, both in our lives and within the lives of our communities. The promises of land, prosperity, and hopeful futures that the Israelite leaders sought were frequently accompanied by trials, tribulations, and weighty moral responsibilities that invariably arose hand in hand with these blessings. The expansive themes of obedience, faithfulness, and divine judgment intersperse throughout the biblical narrative, offering a compelling call to reflection upon our own lives and the legacies we are actively constructing within our current contexts. As believers committed to our faith, we continuously encounter challenges that compel us to discern how our legacies will be defined and interpreted by those who come after us. Will we dedicate ourselves to preserving the values that lie central to our faith, acting as positive influences capable of impacting both current and future generations? The vital lessons derived from these biblical narratives invite us to remain vigilant stewards of the spiritual wealth that we've inherited, ensuring we pass down enduring grace, integrity, and love, elements that ultimately glorify God and reflect our values across time and generations in substantive ways. As we ponder these rich legacies, we must confront the questions: what kind of inheritance are we, either deliberately or inadvertently, creating today for ourselves and others? How can we actively influence our faith communities and families to cultivate meaningful legacies that resonate with biblical principles and teachings? These inquiries will guide our exploration while shaping the stories and narratives we choose to embrace as we strive to uphold and maintain our divine inheritance in Christ as living manifestations of His transformative love. As we draw near to the conclusion of our comprehensive exploration into the profound concepts of inheritance and legacy found within biblical narratives, it becomes increasingly clear that these stories transcend our understanding of time and history. They serve not only as historical accounts, but also as impactful reflections concerning the values we choose to prioritize and carry forward into our own lives and those of future generations. Whether we examine foundational figures like Abraham, who instilled immutable values of faith and steadfast obedience in his descendants, or the unwavering leadership of Moses, who fervently guided his people toward liberation while also impressing upon them the weighty significance of the law, through these narratives, it becomes abundantly clear that the legacies left behind extend far beyond mere material assets or property holdings. They essentially serve as spiritual blueprints intended to guide, illuminate, and navigate the paths of future generations as they face the complexities and challenges of life, fostering deeper connections not just with one another, but also with God, the ultimate source of love, grace, and purpose. Legacy, when examined from a biblical perspective, emerges as both a cherished gift and a heavy burden requiring sincere contemplation and deep reflection. The biblical stories continually emphasize how our choices and lifestyles resonate with and directly impact the teachings and actions imparted by our forebears, shaping the intricate fabric of our shared human experiences. For instance, following the reign of King David, Solomon inherited not merely his father's throne, but also the immense literary wisdom and insight, along with the pitfalls and challenges inherently woven into David's multifaceted legacy. Solomon's decisions and trials reflect the heavy burden of living up to that legacy, illustrated throughout his reign as he weighed his choices against the foundational teachings of faith that precede him. Similar struggles emerge in the New Testament as the apostles grappled with the profound teachings articulated by Jesus, diligently striving to translate his message of love and redemption into their own distinct narratives and legacies. Notwithstanding the myriad challenges that arose during their transformative missionary journeys across unfamiliar territories. Moreover, the biblical narrative teaches us that our legacy can take on numerous forms, encapsulating both commendable virtues alongside significant vices that we may choose to recognize or confront. Each character we encounter, from Joseph's remarkable capacity to forgive and embrace reconciliation to the prodigal son's powerful story of redemption and restoration, illustrates that while we may inherit certain traits, circumstances, or challenges, the crucial aspect lies in the choices we ultimately make that define our legacies moving forward. Rather than confining ourselves to merely the legacies we inherit, we are empowered to redefine and reconstruct them, demonstrated by the many biblical figures who bravely broke away from negative traditions and forged new paths of righteousness, faith, and unwavering hope. As we reflect on our own lives and the legacies we are consciously creating, it prompts essential and thought-provoking questions. What kind of inheritance are we deliberately constructing for future generations? Are we passing down not only material possessions, but also the invaluable spiritual treasures of compassion, faith, and integrity that can uplift and illuminate the lives of those around us? The legacies we cultivate today possess incredible potential to echo through the years, impacting countless lives in the process, fundamentally shaping the moral and spiritual foundations that future generations will rely upon for guidance. Moreover, it encourages us to contemplate how we genuinely wish to be remembered and the kind of influence we hope to impart upon those who come after us. This is where the true value of legacy shines, extending beyond personal achievements or familial lineage, encompassing the collective memory of our community while elucidating our ever-evolving relationship with God. Let us challenge ourselves to serve as committed stewards of a legacy firmly anchored in love, compassion, and faith that expresses itself in actionable ways. By doing so, we ensure that those who come after us inherit not merely our possessions, but the essence of who we were as individuals passionately committed to pursuing a higher, divine purpose rooted in love and service. As we move forward in our lives with intention and faith, let us cultivate an environment where legacies are nurtured and cherished, profoundly impacting lives in ways that uplift the community and our collective human experience as a whole. To encapsulate our in-depth discussion that weaves through various biblical narratives, we are invited to contemplate the powerful metaphor of a tapestry. Each thread of an individual's life intertwines with others, culminating in a rich, intricate design that tells an expansive larger story of faith, struggle, and meaning. In the Bible, we observe this metaphor beautifully reflected in the multitude of characters and their diverse contributions to the overarching narrative of God's grand divine scheme for humanity. The biblical narratives constantly remind us that our lives are intricately interlaced with those who have come before us and those yet to walk upon this earth, emphasizing the inherent interconnectedness within our shared human stories and experiences. Interpreting inheritance in this multidimensional manner empowers us to genuinely appreciate the rich stories and invaluable lessons afforded to us by our ancestors, and it encourages us to enrich the collective narrative with our unique contributions, infused with insights and wisdom gained through lived experience. The weightiness of the past intersects with the promise of the future, leading us to forge connections that transcend the constraints imposed by the limits of time and generations. This understanding invites each of us to reflect upon how our actions and decisions today can either fortify or weaken the legacy that we are actively building within our families, our communities, and beyond. As we consider our role within this grand narrative, let us draw inspiration from the biblical figures who made conscious efforts to shape their legacies through faith-filled actions, examining their motivations, successes, and failures so that we may emulate their positive attributes and learn deeply from their mistakes. This serves as a call to authenticity and intentionality in our lives, compelling us to live in ways that honor the lessons of the past while illuminating a purposeful path forward for those who will follow in our footsteps. Such purpose can profoundly enrich our spiritual journey while fortifying connections within our families, communities, and ultimately, with our Creator. In practical terms, how might we initiate this transformative journey of legacy building amidst our contemporary societies? It could begin with sharing our personal stories that have shaped our faith journeys, taking the time to actively impart core values to our children or grandchildren, or engaging in activities advocating for reconciliation and healing within our families, friendships, and faith communities. Each seemingly small action contributes to the powerful legacy we intend to leave behind, generating cascading impacts both within our immediate context and stretching beyond those to outward realities over time, influencing generations yet to come. As we reach the conclusion of this thoughtful exploration surrounding inheritance and legacy found in biblical narratives, let us commit ourselves to weaving together heartwarming narratives marked by love, humility, and faith. Ones that withstand the test of time, continuing to inspire future generations. These components represent the true treasures of a legacy, rich and enduring enough to amplify not just our lives, but also the lives of those we choose to leave behind, ensuring that they are equipped with invaluable lessons and models of faith to guide them through life's complex journey. May we strive wholeheartedly to uphold the essential values of our faith, creating lasting impacts as we navigate our unique journeys through life, weaving a beautiful legacy together that glorifies God, illuminating paths for all who walk beside us. In closing, it is insightful to recognize the duality of inheritance. It stands as both a cherished gift and an inherent challenge that often sparks introspection. Oftentimes, we may find ourselves grappling with the legacy we have inherited, sometimes feeling the weight of expectations set forth by previous generations, or alternatively, embracing the richness of lessons learned and cherished throughout our life journeys. The challenge lies in discerning which aspects of our inherited legacies we ought to uphold, honor, and celebrate against the elements that we perhaps need to thoughtfully redefine or reevaluate as we step into our unique destinies and roles within our families and communities. Recognizing that we are all part of a continuum within this grand narrative allows us to appreciate the sacrifices made by those who have gone before us, laying down foundations upon which we can consciously build. As we delve into the stories of figures such as Gideon, Esther, and Paul, along with countless others, we encounter remarkable individuals who courageously confront seemingly insurmountable odds, all while being guided by a strong sense of purpose. Each working diligently to actively reshape their inherited legacies into narratives filled with hope, meaning, and significance that resonate across time. Furthermore, we come to realize that legacies are not static entities. They constantly evolve as we grow, learn from both triumph and failure, and mature in understanding as we journey onward. Every decision made becomes a stitch woven into the fabric of our individual lives and a broader world, impacting lives in ways we may never fully comprehend. Throughout the rich narratives of the Bible, we consistently observe a strong emphasis placed on the importance of paving the way for future generations, inspiring them towards spiritual practices, community service, and acts of compassion reflective of God's teachings. These actions not only affirm one's commitment to legacy, they also engage the next generations in narratives laid down by biblical figures long ago, allowing their stories and teachings to thrive anew within their hearts. As believers, we are called to be dynamic and active participants in this divine story, sharing our blessings, wisdom, and love to ensure that our legacy is deeply anchored within the teachings of Christ. In all spheres of our lives, whether within familial relationships, friendships, or in broader community contexts, the ethos of humility and service can collectively transform our legacies, rendering them living examples of faith and action that speak truthfully and authentically within our world. As you take time to reflect on your own life and legacy, consider integrating moments of service or mentorship that contribute positively, not just to your own legacy, but to those surrounding you. Are there practices or traditions you can promote among your peers, family, or faith community, emphasizing the significance of legacy in your shared spiritual journey? Each kind conversation, every shared meal, and each act of kindness reverberates through lives, creating ripples extending far beyond our immediate circles, illuminating the inherent impact of our choices on the rich tapestry of life that God has woven through His divine plan for each of us. Finally, let's remain mindful that we are always in the process of crafting our narratives. The way we choose to embrace or face the legacies we've received will distinctly mold our identities, character, and faith as we continue onward through life. May our paths be guided by the profound wisdom found within Scripture, serving as an inspiration as we intentionally seek to honor those who have come before us while carving out a unique space for our individual contributions to this grand sacred story. To summarize the depth of our comprehensive discussion, we invite you to contemplate the richness and complexity inherent within the biblical narratives. These truth-laden stories are intricately woven throughout with lessons about legacy and inheritance that resonate powerfully, even in our contemporary context. As we navigate the multifaceted layers of our lives amid modern trials and tribulations, these ancient stories offer timeless wisdom that can help us better understand ourselves, our roots, and how they connect to the greater fabric of life surrounding us. They serve not only as historical touchpoints, but also as catalysts for self-reflection and personal connection, urging us to thoughtfully reconsider the meanings behind our actions, the ways in which they shape the world around us, and how we intend to leave it for generations yet unborn. Encouragingly, the biblical narrative serves as a reminder that no legacy is flawless or devoid of shadows. It reflects the very human experiences that define us all. Each character we encounter, including those embodying flaws alongside faithfulness, uniquely contributes to a diverse narrative tapestry that captures grace, redemption, and boundless hope. Every individual, in their own right, possesses valuable lessons to share concerning the art of crafting and nurturing a lasting legacy that honors the past while preparing for the future ahead. As we engage in this reflection regarding our spiritual journeys, let's champion open and honest dialogues within our communities concerning the core values that propel us forward through the twists and turns of life that defy easy understanding. What historical stories do we aspire to pass along to future generations, and how can we ensure that our descendants embrace these narratives with the same passion and conviction that our forebears exhibited in their lives and choices? Every story encapsulated within Scripture ultimately directs us toward the supreme legacy of love and sacrifice exemplified by Christ Himself. In light of this, Let's strive to live lives faithfully reflecting that divine love, igniting legacies that not only inspire those around us, but also draw them closer to God through the lives we live. This dynamic, collective calling represents a challenge for all of us, a heartfelt invitation to embrace the role of custodians for our shared heritage, woven together in faith and spirited community as we traverse our shared journeys of life. As we conclude this episode, we encourage each of you to embark on your individualized journey of legacy building with clarity and purpose. Utilize the reflections offered throughout this exploration to inspire your path forward as you navigate the rich tapestry of life God has placed before you. And remember, while we may inherit burdens and challenges, we also carry within us transformative potential for monumental renewal that affects the world around us. Through every act of kindness, every decision made in faith, and every life we touch, we contribute to a legacy that has the capacity to echo through the annals of time, one generating impact for countless generations to come in ways far too beautiful to imagine. Thank you for joining us here at The Perspectives of the Bible. Together, may we continue to explore, cherish, and affirm the enduring power of biblical narratives as they shape not only our lives today, but also influence the futures of